All right, let's talk about the main event on Saturday. UFC Fight Night 137 out in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Jimmy Manuwa and Glover Teixeira. Oh, that's right. Glover Teixeira is out. It's Jimmy Manuwa versus Thiago Santos, who's moving up from middle. No, that's right. Jimmy Manuwa is now out. It's actually Eric Anders who's facing Thiago Santos, who, if you follow the sport, they've actually done most of their fighting at middleweight, but this is taking place at 205. Eric Anders just got on a plane to head down south to save the main event. Here are the odds. The odds are already out. Thiago Santos minus 145. Eric Anders plus 115. All right, Goes. Who do you got in this one?
It's a hell of a shakeup there. I want to lean back to something. The last time Eric Anders asked for something was Lyoto Machida. And I think the moment just got the best of him. We didn't see the best Eric Anders. I was impressed with his performance, but it just wasn't the right Eric Anders. In this situation, again, it just seems like this is too much to overcome. A different weight class, a young fighter. I'm going to have to lean towards Santos in this fight. If they had the proper camps for each other, then maybe I could break this down a little differently, and maybe I could go towards Eric Anders. But in this particular case, I think I'm safer going with Santos.
What about you?
It's tough. I'm glad to see the odds makers giving Eric Anders a lot of respect there, even though he is the dog. It's a pretty close line. And, you know, yeah, they're middleweights fighting at 205, but let's be honest. This almost feels like a heavyweight fight with the heavyweight intangibles at play, as far as the heavy hands, I should say, of both guys, or heavy kicks if we're talking about Santos. But those kicks are going to be real interesting. And not just, you know, we know Santos can kick, but how can Eric Anders counter off those kicks? We've seen him debase with leg kicks before in fights. You know, he was picking up and countering Tim Williams' kicks toward the end of their fight before he landed a kick of his own. But Thiago Santos, it's fair to say, is maybe at top of the heap when it comes to kicking at 185 pounds.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it's going to come down to pressure, guys. Whoever's pressuring is going to win this fight. You know, we've seen Eric Anders. He's like an Abrams tank. He pressures forward from that southpaw stance. And if he can get Thiago Santos to the fence, maybe he can land a left hand, get a takedown. But Thiago Santos rounding out his game at American Top Team. He's got grappling as well. This is tough. I have not picked against Eric Anders at all through his career. Big fan of your boy. But I don't know about this matchup. Like Go said, short notice camp, the way the matchup is, he's not coming off the couch, George, you're right, but I got to go with Thiago Santos here.
Yeah, I don't blame you guys, man. Santos has been fighting well. Anders, in a loss and a win, he had some struggles. He had some struggles in the loss where he just couldn't get going. And then in the win, even though he pulled it out, he had some moments there where Tim Williams, you know, was taking it to him. He's addressed this. He was actually recently in Vegas, so we know he's training. We know he's in shape. He doesn't have to cut to 185. This fight will take place at 205. Everything he says, go with Santos, the hometown guy. But I'll tell you what, if you guys would have seen my plays last week in Moscow, I was like 2-8. I was terrible. So I'm going to flip it. I'm going to go with your boy. I'm going to take Eric Anders. I think he's going to pull off the upset. I feel like he's playing with house money in a division that doesn't matter to him. I think he can just go out there and perform. Sure, that gas tank's not going to be there. If he doesn't get it done within the first round or the first 2.5 minutes of the second round, then I don't like his chances, honestly. But I think 7.5 minutes is enough for an explosive fighter to just put it on him. And see, the thing is, Santos comes forward. It's not like he retreats. It's not like he has to look for a fight. So I think it's there for the taking if he wants it. There you have it. There's our main event breakdown for UFC Fight Night 137 out in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Eric Anders versus Thiago Santos. Forget about Teixeira. Forget about Manuel. They're not fighting.